So this is going to be a little section or little segment that I like to call ramblings. This is going to be a mishmash of various topics centered around a single theme. In this case, it's going to be Chrome and Chromebooks. Like I've been talking about in the last video, I've been choosing one, or trying to choose one. I also touched a little bit on how I felt they could help in education. I wanted to start by recapping that here. If you're blind, the Chromebook is completely accessible through the screen reader called Chromebook. And the beautiful part is because Chrome OS is updated every month, there are bound to be nothing but improvements. Number two, the Chromebook is incredibly bulletproof when it comes to infections. So there's no need to worry about your system being infected. All you have to do is concentrate on learning as the student and as the teacher. You don't need to worry about your computers being down and out. But in terms of special education especially, for a student who is much more comfortable with a computer versus writing on a piece of paper, it would really be advantageous to them and also to everybody else. A lot of times, tools that can help students with disabilities can in fact have an impact on the general population. But if somebody's more comfortable with using a computer and would really be better off getting their work done that way. Now, I'm not saying that they're doing that they shouldn't be doing handwriting. I'm all for handwriting, okay, because cursive is a dying art. But if there's somebody in particular who has an extremely difficult time with handwriting or can't handwrite at all due to various physical conditions, then I can see a Chromebook being a major help to them. And also the IEP, if the Individualized Education Plan, which for those of you who do not know is basically a set of guidelines that can help out the student, things like extended time on tests, in my case it was enlarged print, special books, taped books, that sort of thing. Extended time is a very common request for many students, and the Chromebook can also aid in that regard as well. You could either take the Chromebook home with you. My apologies if you could hear that I was moving my Mac a little bit. You could take the Chromebook home with you, or if you already have a PC at home, say a family computer that sits out in the living room, if you have the Chrome browser installed on your computer and you log into your school's Gmail account, you could continue right from where you left off. So I can see nothing but good things happening in the classroom. And also, even as teachers, now I'm not saying teachers should become full-fledged coders, but in terms of creating an interactive worksheet, it might help. And I'll give you an example here. Let's go ahead and write a little bit of code. And I can tell you that there are a lot of teachers out there in the classroom who have gone ahead and worked towards getting their master's for certification in educational technology, because one of the last classes I was in last semester, practically every single student was a teacher in the classroom and was looking at developing interactive materials for their students. And I'm going to show you how you can do that here with some basic coding. Let's go ahead and get started. So right here, oh, one more thing. Before I forget, this program called Vanadius, if you go to the Chrome Web Store, Vanadius, it's an HTML5 web editor, and the beautiful part about this is I used to use a program called Espresso. It was a local app here on my Mac. I had a tabbed view. I had my code, and in another tab I had the actual item itself. With this, I don't need to worry about that. Watch what happens here on the right, where my arrow is. So I'm going to type in some text. You can see the word test has appeared, and because it's a heading 1, we have everything in nice big bold print. Now, this is an opening tag, so anything in these two greater than and less than signs are your opening tag. Anything with a slash before it, so you have less than slash greater, less than slash, then your element, then greater than, is a closing tag. So let's say instructions. Actually, no. What we're going to do is this time P for paragraph. Instructions. Fill in the checkbox that best completes the answer to the question given. We'll close that out with a closing paragraph tag. Actually, I should, there we go. Now, we're going to say list item. Actually, we're going to say ordered list, OL for ordered list. So P for paragraph, H for heading, O for ordered list. If you just want bullets, so I'll show you here. We're going to do list item. This is question 1. And we'll close that out. And we'll close out this, the ordered list. But then what if you just wanted bullet points? You could do UL for unordered list. List item. This is question 2. Close out the list item. And as you can see, the ordered list, which is up here, has been numbered. Whereas the unordered list has not. There's just a bullet. So let's close out the unordered list with a close tag. And you notice that as I type, everything appears here in real time on the screen. So let's go ahead and deal with some interactive elements. Excuse me. So what we're going to do is we're going to create another paragraph tag. This time, I'm going to show you a little bit of how to customize your text. So let's go ahead and do that. So we're going to say I for italics. And we're going to say, please select the radio. Actually, please select the item that best completes the question. You only get, and we're going to go ahead and put B for bold. 1, close the bold tag. Choice. Close the italicized tag. Close the paragraph tag. Now, you did notice, by the way, up here on the top that I did say, please fill in the checkbox that best completes the answer. We'll get to that in just a second, actually. What we'll do is we'll go back to our text here that says this is question 1 and say, which of these do you like? And we're going to say, we're going to delete the closing tag because right now what we want is we want to create some input tags. So we're going to input items. So we're going to go ahead with the first input type, which is a checkbox. So we're going to say input type equals, and then you've got to put it in quotes because otherwise the code is not going to take effect. So your input type, you notice the type text will highlight in blue, the input in purple. Nice color coding to help you along your way. So we're going to say input type equals checkbox. And watch what happens. As soon as I put the quote in, we'll try again. So watch. So the instant I put the quote in, oops, where am I? So we'll go ahead and close the quotes. Notice the checkbox disappeared. Incidentally, we're going to go ahead and say apples and close out the input. Hang on. There we go. And then close out the list item. And so you've got the idea. We could just check the box. Say oranges. Oops. Close out that. And you can see we can fully interact with this. We can check both of these, uncheck them. And let's go here to our, whoops. That's another thing that I like about this. If you accidentally leave the application, as long as you didn't close this code, it'll always be there for you. So let's go ahead and change our next item from this is question 2. And actually, let's delete the unordered list tag because we want to make this part of our ordered list. So let's delete that. And we'll say, oops. See if the code remains. Yeah, there we go. This is question 2. And we'll say, let's see, who is the CEO of Microsoft? And we'll say input type equals radio. And as you can see, we've now got a radio button there. And we'll say Steve Ballmer. Okay, so that's one item. And then we'll go ahead and put in a new checkbox, but a radio button. But instead of retyping that text, we can just copy this, what I've just highlighted here, the input type equals radio. We can just copy that, paste, and say Steve Jobs. And as you can see, we can select only one. Well, we're supposed to only be able to select one or the other. Let me see what's missing. Okay, yeah, I was able to get the code to work where it would only allow you to select one or the other in my class that I was taking last term, but I can't seem to get it to work in independent editors. But it worked fine on the school's website. But you get the idea. You can only select one or the other, and for some reason both of these are selected. Anyway, so we go back down here to this. It says, please select the item that completes the question. You only have got one. And again, like I said, you can bold the text, you can italicize, so you only get one choice. So I will say, let's change this up to say, you must. So we'll go ahead and say bold and underline. You must close the bold, close the underline. You must use proper grammar. Close out the indents. Oops, we already had that tag there, so we didn't need it. Silly me. So you must use proper grammar. Actually, we should put a space here. There we go. So what we'll do here is we will go ahead and create our question, and we'll say during which time did you feel the most engaged in class? Input type equals text box, hang on. Okay, now we could close it out right here, but as you can see, we don't have an awful lot of typing, a lot of space to do. So what we're going to say is we're not going to stop there. So we're going to say input type equals text value equals. Now I'm going to show you something. We could say answer, and as you can see, the word answer has appeared in the text box. But if I attempt to type in, you can see it hasn't erased what's already in here. So the best real option here is, instead of saying value equals whatever you want to have in there, it's just leave it blank. And the best way to do that is with double quotes. And then the length, and what do we mean by length? How many characters do you want it? So we'll say 100 characters. Actually, no, we'll say 1,000. And then let me see. Is it length? All of a sudden I'm drawing a blank. Oh, I'm sorry, width. All of a sudden I can't think. But anyway, you get the idea. And you can go in and adjust the length of your edit fields. But this is sort of a rudimentary, off the top of my head, throw it together at the last minute kind of example of how, using some basic coding, you can create a fully interactive worksheet, and at the end you could create a link that, you could create a link saying email results, and it will send it to you as the teacher. Just a lot of great opportunities out there. And again, this is a free web editor, Vinadius, that you can get on the Chrome Web Store. Now, let's go on to my next topic. I think I have decided on a Chromebook, and it's going to be the HP Chromebook 11. But it's not because of performance, and it's not because of the keyboard, although the keyboard on the HP is nice, the screen's nicer, the micro USB is great. And yes, you do sacrifice some performance. But it's not the performance or anything, it's not the two computers that I'm basing this on, believe it or not. It's actually the two companies. So what do I mean by this? Excuse me. Let's take a look. So I brought up the HP Chromebook 11. As you can see, it's out of stock. These things are selling like hotcakes. But what I want to draw your attention to is this item down here. So need assistance, contact a sales agent. So we could say, send us an email. Contact a sales specialist. Please select one. Ready to buy. And from then on, you can go ahead and enter your information, and they'll get back to you. Now, I got a notice saying that due to severe weather conditions in their support centers area, that it could be up to 96 hours before I get a reply. It took them less than 6 to get back to me. And that is just... Now, I have dealt with HP before. We've got many HP products. We've got an old HP notebook. We've got an old HP tower that has lasted us about 10 years. The printer, the same thing. We've got a new HP printer, and we haven't had any problems with it. It's just been working like a dream. Contrast this with Acer, their Chromebook, the C720, as I've mentioned in the past. Now let's take a look at their support system. Contact Acer. Chat with a support agent. Well, guess what? You can't do that unless you've already purchased the darn thing. Which means if you want pre-sale support, you're out of luck. $100. And what's more is, let's see, was it here? Yeah, here it is. Our chat service is available to you when your system is covered by warranty. Now, chat and email is what I've used most, but I've always, with Sony, they've had chat available because when I want to buy something, I've gotten into the habit of not just downloading the manuals, looking at the reviews, but I will actually contact the company before buying and see what their response is, how their support is rated, and just seeing this right here doesn't bode well for me. I'm sorry, but I think that Acer's support already, it's just not boding very well for me. I mean, they'll only talk to you if you have a warranty. They won't even talk to you before you purchase. I mean, come on. Now, I understand that they have like forums you can go to, but I do feel better dealing with a sales specialist. If I wanted to ask for forums, that's why I've got the YouTube videos, to be honest. I never use company forums. I mean, I'll look through them, but I've never really posted anything myself because I always figure it gets too crowded. But anyway, those are my ramblings and sort of a short HTML coding lesson that I wasn't really expecting to take you through, but, well, there you go. Anyway, what do you guys think? Should I continue with videos like this? And also, what do you think of my grounds for using support as a yay or nay towards buying something? Thank you for watching. Comments are welcome, and have a nice day.